I'm actually getting a haircut as soon as I'm done filming the last episode.
No way.
Yeah,
it's all going?
Yeah, because
Wow.
it's been 2 years. I grew this to be Hamilton for Halloween.
That takes some planning.
Yeah. Hi guys, I'm Arleo. Welcome to the Kitchen Drink, where we're raiding your fridges and making some delicious crafty cocktails. Today I'm here with Astrina. Astrina, formerly known as Daria Black, formerly known as Casey, formerly known as girl with long hair and glasses. Now is indie artist with short white hair and no glasses.
Sounds about right.
You may recognize her more than you recognize me, especially if you actually follow the indie circuit. Even though I'm a bartender, somehow my schedule has worked really well with all your shows.
Yeah, it always makes me happy when I see Arleo there.
What songs do you have out right now?
So I released my first single last year, and I've released 3 more since then. The first one was Mind, Heart, Body.
I love your mind, your heart, your body.
Then Not That Girl.
I'm not the girl you used to think you knew. No, not anymore.
Then Changing.
Changing, you can feel it. I'm unstoppable, improbable, and you know I'm your masterpiece.
And about a month ago, You Should Run.
You should run while you can get away from me. You should run from my empty games. You should run far away, you should run when you hear my name.
So Astrina and I have known each other since 2014 because I was a senior joining an a cappella group in my spring semester of the year. Weird that I did that. Great that I did that because I
It
ended
was
up
good
staying.
for the group. He did some great arrangements,
Yeah.
and we needed a beatboxer.
I've had other underscore people on here before, but they've all been younger than...
So I wouldn't know them.
Yeah, you wouldn't know them. They got some of my more refined stuff. You kind of got some of my more janky
I got some
stuff.
of the first stuff.
Around the time that I first met you, I had just started delving into drink making. Do you happen to remember any of the drinks that I made for you back in college?
No, I remember one was blue.
Now that it's been a little while, I kind of need to get an update on your drink preferences so I can make
Okay.
this drink for you. I do hear sometimes when you're ordering at the bar after you've done your set that you get rum and coke usually.
So it's usually a rum and coke or a whiskey ginger, or if they have good beer, then a beer. But I'm like a little picky about beer. I used to mostly go with stouts, and I kind of moved towards like brown ales. I like red ales too. I don't like pale ales or IPAs as much, but most other things I like.
It's been 5 years since I've made you a drink. So you ready for a reunion with an Arleo drink?
I am ready. We'll see what my kitchen has for you.
Yeah. Astrina has a couple of roommates, so I'm actually restricted to this one little area of the fridge, which is fine because there's some pear vinaigrette, Caesar dressing, some kombucha, lots to play with. I'm still not sure what drink I want to make, but when there's honey butter and frosting in the fridge, you kind of just grab those and see if you'll end up using them later. And ultimately, it's going to be up to whether I use a Nature Valley bar or this candy that decides if I use the frosting or the honey butter. In the end, I do decide to use the candy because it felt like it was going to be a little easier to play with. We'll heat up a few pieces to wash off some of that citric acid sugar and maybe make a little syrup out of this. One thing I always forget is jiggers conduct heat. They are made of metal, so try not to burn yourself if you ever do hot drink stuff. Thankfully, hot water means the frosting will also melt pretty easily, and it'll be able to blend with the vinaigrette and the rum I'm using, which sounds really terrible, but with careful proportions, this drink ended up tasting decent, especially once the kombucha was added. Let's see what Astrina thinks.
I'm nervous.
Not the prettiest color, but really none of the kitchen drinks are that pretty because when you're working with random food stuff in the kitchen, it's hard to take color into account.
He said it's a weird one, so cheers. You scared me. It's not as bad as you made it sound.
Oh, I know.
This is hard.
Yeah.
Okay. So I don't know if this is cheating, but I heard the microwave.
Mm-hmm.
Is there butter in there?
There could be.
It reminds me of something. I'm trying to think of what... Is it apple cider or something? It tastes good. It smells weird. So like you smell it as you're about to drink it, and you're a little bit like, don't drink this. But then it tastes good, so it's confusing. Yeah, so I think there's the Cavita pear vinaigrette dressing.
Is the vinaigrette what you're smelling, or are you tasting it?
I'm seeing it.
Seeing it? Oh, yeah.
There's alcohol, right?
Mhm.
I don't know what alcohol I have.
You have a lot.
I want to say there's a little bit of vodka. That's mostly because I know I have vodka. Like flavored vodka. Like a Smirnoff something. I think I'm going to leave it at that.
Is there a not weird thing that I can start with? Let's actually start with the spirit. I kind of see why you thought it was vodka, but I actually used our little conversation about your favorite spirits to influence my decisions. The spirit I used was Mount Gay rum, golden amber blend of aged rums. Not as sweet as, flavored vodkas, of course, but its flavor is definitely hidden underneath everything that's going on there. There's actually no other alcoholic component to this drink.
Really?
Unless you count kombucha, which...
Just barely alcoholic.
I'm not surprised that you thought there was a flavored vodka in there, because I did use something weird. That's what I used the microwave for. I can tell you it wasn't butter.
It wasn't butter.
There's no butter in this drink. What I used was my favorite candy.
Oh my gosh. Wait, so how is that in there?
Let me show you. Hold this.
I'm gonna eat one of these.
Like this. It looks gross. Sour candies are coated in citric acid. I wanted to use these candies, but I mostly just wanted to use the citric acid coating on the outside. That's why you heard the microwave. I set this for 1 minute with just a little bit of water. I'm very sad about these candies, but worthy sacrifice. So because there was a candy in there, when you said flavored Smirnoff, I was like, yeah, nope, makes perfect sense. The reason I was using the citric acid was because I was looking for lemons or vinegar. There was balsamic vinegar, but I was worried that might do too much, because as much as I love balsamic vinegar has a lot of flavor.
It does.
I already knew the citric acid coming off the candies wasn't going to be enough unless I used the whole bag. I wasn't going to do that because I love these candies too much. To help bolster that acidity, I used...
I was right.
Champagne pear vinaigrette. Yep, you got that right off the bat. Did you taste it at all in the drink?
It was mostly the look of it.
Maybe I'll throw in some balsamic vinegar in a second to see what happens. 2, 3. It's not much different.
No, but I think it smells better.
Well, I guess I should have thrown that in the first place. There's already sweetness in this drink from the weird pseudo syrup that I made, but I wanted to add a little bit more sweetness. I wanted to use the honey butter because I was like, that's gonna add a little bit of texture and sweetness. Then as I made the drink, I realized
Would not go.
I actually had originally planned to use a Nature Valley bar.
Really?
In the same vein of making a quick syrup out of the candies, I was thinking about using a Nature Valley bar to do like an oat honey tea. But instead, I used a different sweetener, which also added a little texture because it's on the thicker side. That sweetener was the last of this icing.
No way. How did you get it to like be drink textured with all these solids?
Remember how the candies were microwaved in water? That hot water helped dissolve some of this, plus the agitation of the ice between everything. Not very much of this because I knew there was sweetness coming from the candy, and rum's got a slight sweetness to it sometimes. I don't think Mount Gay has that much though, but whatever.
The ginger is in there though, right? The ginger kombucha?
Nope.
No, it's not.
It's not that kombucha, it's this kombucha. So I tasted both, and this one just had more life in it, and I needed something that wasn't dull.
Do you name the cocktails, or is there more ingredients?
That is it. And I don't name them. I have too many I would have to name.
I think names would like help the color make sense. I think I'd call it a sour caramel.
Sour caramel. Yeah.
Yeah?
Yeah. Yeah. So guys, that's Astrina's kitchen drink, where we put in everything but the kitchen sink. Remember to drink responsibly. Bye. I still feel so bad about it. Oh, ew.
I probably would leave this alone.
Okay. Oh, you don't. Oh.